Thank you, Alistair, for inviting me to this very interesting conference, which takes place every year. I would like to speak more generally, stick to the conference theme, seeking a new balance amidst a derailed green transition. Very important, because we are feeling that green transition is being derailed. And the specific theme, decarbonization, can Greece lead the way? I think as far as the second question is concerned, the Minister, Mr. Maniatis, and the other speakers have been very clear. Yes, we are already leading the way. That's not a question if you can lead the way. And we have been leading the way since back in the 70s and early 80s. Because in the 70s, we developed one of the most buoyant solar water heater markets in Europe and worldwide, and we still have a lead. Greece is the third country worldwide in terms of installed solar water heaters, very important. And back in the early 80s, we were leading the way because we had the first photovoltaic plants and first wind farms. But then we didn't follow. It was a big slump. And then again, in the late 90s, early 2000, and more importantly, 2010 onwards, we started really being a lot more active, and we saw the big boom over the last 5 years. So this is the situation. However, there is a disparity in terms of renewables contributing to electricity. Yes, we have reached almost 50%, figures of 2024, covering the electricity needs from renewables, but only 20%, or maybe 22%, and Mr. Tsafos can correct me on that, as far as the total consumption is concerned. And this is going to be like that over the next few years. It's not going to change much because we have a huge transportation sector, and we also have building sector, and we have industry. And most of the energy is generated there. And electricity still forms small part of the overall energy mix. Which brings me to the next issue, was have we reached the limits of investment in renewables? Yes and no. Yes, as far as traditional wind farms, photovoltaics, and so forth. We have already big curtailment. The curtailments are rising every day. Faria probably knows that very well, which is a disincentive for new investment in the traditional way. So investors coming in renewables will have to look elsewhere, in batteries or PPAs, from the start having a PPA before building your installation, and then move to small hydro, to geothermal, which is very important, and we have plenty in Greece, biomass, and biomethane for natural gas, which is very important. Following that, I would like to say that we have to realize the myth of renewables being the cheapest form of energy. Yes, if you take this in terms of capital expenditure, yes, they are moving and costs have really dropped. But if you come to the final cost delivered, renewables cannot really operate without the overall energy system. And the more renewables come, the more expensive it is because they take the cue from coal, from lignite, from natural gas. In the operation system we use now, the target model, this inevitably gives a high price. So what we do, I think we diversify the energy mix. And I'm very happy that this government, together with renewables, is promoting natural gas, which we think we have. At least the seismic data shows that. But it takes a lot of effort to bring this up because the companies have to put investment themselves and they have to secure this investment. So I am optimistic in the sense that if we manage to differentiate our energy mix and increase the local input from gas, then eventually we'll start seeing prices drop. Which brings me to the very last point, that at the same time, while we develop these energy sources, renewables and gas, we must look into energy security. And we must be able to secure the continuous flow of energy at low cost and in a sustainable way, which is the traditional trilemma. Yes, in that sense, we should move forward, but we should try and increase indigenous production from all sources. And this applies not only for Greece, but for Europe as well. Thank you.